It just makes me want to dance.
Yeah, getting you dancing, and then you see the prices at the pump, and you're like,
Stop.
So hopefully
Stop
something's going to be working here. Yeah, exactly. Stop. Let's check in with Netta here this morning and see how that fog is looking outside, because, boy, it is real thick once again.
You know, it's one of those mornings, if you don't have to get out there and drive, you know, save yourself the gas money and the trouble of driving through the fog. So if you can't stay home, obviously, it's a good time to do that because it's so foggy. It is dangerous conditions, hazardous driving kind of weather. Now, that's the view Cardiff State Beach. Hard to tell, right? We definitely have this low-lying cloud coverage that came through with the marine layer. It was last night when it rolled in, and it's still sitting really low to the ground, but it's interesting what it's doing. It's almost skipping downtown, and Imperial Beach, your visibility is not as bad as it's been, but in Otay, El Cajon, Kearney Mesa, all the way up to Oceanside, we have that low-lying cloud coverage. So the dense fog advisory this morning, it's now beyond the 15, all the way to the mountains, as you see right there, and it's not expiring until 10 a.m. So Weather Service giving you that heads up. I'm doing it as well, just to make sure you are safe. Looking at traffic, and you can see also where the fog is, where the yellow is. That's the road weather index that gets bright as a heads up and a warning to all of you. So right now you're seeing it in places that we have not seen this week. You know, each morning we've had the fog, but not so bad in El Cajon, La Mesa, and this morning it's there. Brownfield as well. There's a crash that I wanted to show you, which we'll get to in just a few minutes, but of course the fog obviously causing a little bit more slowing, which is advised in conditions like this. Stella and Eric.
Netta, thank you. Now to the very latest on the newest COVID variant. Today, the president will lay out new steps to fight COVID this winter.
This is the first U.S. case of the Omicron variant was discovered here in California. News 8's Evan Ronnie live in our newsroom now with the latest developments here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to both of you as well. As you mentioned, Governor Newsom making some announcements yesterday. President Biden expected to speak today, and this all comes as the first confirmed case of the Omicron COVID variant. Governor Newsom said that a fully vaccinated San Francisco resident between the ages of 18 and 40 contracted the Omicron variant after returning from South Africa. Newsom said he could not give out any more specific information about the person because of privacy laws, but he also reiterated what has been said by the president and health leaders, that this is a cause for concern, but not a reason to panic.
The individual is self-quarantining, and all close contacts have been contacted, and all close contacts thus far have tested negative.
I'm almost certain that this finding is only the tip of the iceberg.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, as well as one of the doctors who kind of helped discover this strain specifically. The U.S. joins more than 20 countries and territories to have spotted at least one case of the strain around the world since South African health officials sounded the alarm over the variant on November 25th. Dr. Ghaly, Secretary of California Health and Human Services, said that there is more research that needs to be done on the Omicron variant, including whether it's more virulent and whether it affects kids more than earlier strains. Today, President Biden is expected to lay out new steps to fight COVID-19 through the winter. He's expected to extend requirements that people wear masks on airplanes, trains, and buses from January now to mid-March. Another restriction will be on international travelers. Right now, travelers into the United States must show a negative COVID test within 72 hours of their flight. Next week, that will change to just 24 hours for everyone coming into the U.S. Now, the president will visit the National Institutes of Health this morning. He'll be delivering remarks there. That's scheduled for 1:40 Eastern time, so about 10:40 our time. On top of all of this, health officials hope that this will incentivize people to get vaccinated if they haven't already, and encourage those who are vaccinated to get a booster shot along the way. In the newsroom, I'm Evan Irani, News 8.
Evan, thank you. And right now, researchers at UC San Diego are on alert, testing sewage for the Omicron variant. They've been taking samples from the campus sewage, then running it through these high-tech machines. Researchers expect to know within a few days if the variant is present in San Diego.
So the second we get an inkling that someone might have the Omicron variant, we will move it through the pipeline as fast as possible to try to confirm that diagnosis.
Researchers say the automated system can process 36 samples every hour. And this morning, the Let Them Choose group is seeking a new emergency injunction against San Diego Unified's vaccine mandate. This time, they are pushing for a broader and long-lasting injunction against the mandate with personal belief exemptions. This is different from the emergency injunction issued by an appeals court earlier this week. That lawsuit focused on religious exemptions. San Diego Unified has not commented on either lawsuit.
This morning, a San Diego small business owner is on his way home from Afghanistan. Congressman Darrell Issa and his team have been working for months now to help Prince Wafa and his wife escape the country. Wafa went to Kabul, where his wife was waiting for her visa paperwork to process. They reached out to Issa for help through the Afghanistan Evacuation Assistance Portal. This morning, Major League Baseball is dealing with its first work stoppage in more than 25 years. The league's collective bargaining agreement expired without a new deal.
News 8's Chris Groh is live at Petco Park with a closer look, including how the Padres are reacting. Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, good morning. The first work stoppage since the 94-95 season, and there have only been 4 other lockouts in this time. The other times it was usually pretty strikes between the players union and then, of course, Major League Baseball owners. And what we said earlier is that this is billionaires versus millionaires. But I mean, if you do look at it, there are a lot less millionaires on the side of the players than there are with owners. In fact, there are probably not anybody who owns a team that isn't worth at least a couple million. Now, again, as for what this battle here is, this collective bargaining agreement between the owners and the players union, it has expired. They are in the midst of negotiations. Now, during negotiations, both sides don't have to agree to a work stoppage. In fact, it's rare that they both agree to it. This is a tool that essentially the owners are using to try to strike forward negotiations. In fact, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said in a statement, in part, quote, "The defensive lockout was necessary because the Players Association vision for Major League Baseball would threaten the ability of most teams to be competitive. It's simply not a viable option." However, the MLB Players Association countered by saying, quote, "These tactics are not new. We have been here before, and players have risen to the occasion time and time again. Guided by solidarity that has been forged over generations, we will do so again." Now, the players and owners, they've got a number of issues to sort out. A lot of it revolves around money, and one issue is how that money is shared between the teams. The players union wants to reduce the revenue sharing between the teams. The teams share upwards of millions of dollars a year between the bigger markets and the smaller markets. Now, MLB feels that's going to hurt those small market teams from being competitive, but the actual players union says that right now they feel like the owners are pocketing that money and not using it on the talent. So that is one big disagreement between them. Now, as for the Padres, because a lot of people wondering what their response to all of this is, they did write in a statement, quote, and you'll see it right there on your screen. In part, while we at the Padres are disappointed in the current situation, we have been prepared for this undesired outcome. Rest assured that once a new agreement is reached, the Padres will be well positioned to finish constructing an exciting roster that is ready to compete for a championship in 2022. Now, of course, what does the lockout mean? Well, essentially, it's going to be more so of a burden for general managers and executives at this time. This is a work stoppage that prevents them from being able to go ahead and trade players, sign free agents that are within the players union. Now, this would impact the players when you start getting into spring training, start trying to get some of those workouts together, things like that. So again, it remains to be seen if it's going to last up until mid-February, but both sides, again, trying to earn some battleground, if you will, trying to push these lines in their negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement. Eric and Stella.
Chris, thank you. San Diegans waking up to thick fog blanketing much of the county. Netta, you're tracking it.
Yeah, you can see this right here. Was this Del Mar? It's hard to tell, but very foggy along our coastline, but also inland this morning. So that's what's unique about today. We've been on repeat talking about these foggy conditions each morning, and many of you for inland areas, you haven't had to deal with it. But let's show you now our current visibility. El Cajon, this is a spot where you were pretty clear the past couple mornings, and now a 3rd mile visibility. So along the 8, if you're headed this way into Mission Valley, La Mesa, I mean, this whole area all the way towards SDSU will be a rough commute. Now, downtown IB, it looks like the clouds are sitting up a little bit higher. In La Jolla was not as big of an issue, but in Kearney Mesa, it certainly is. So 52, the 5, the 15, visibility is low all around. And that dense fog advisory all the way to our tops of our mountains. So this time, it is more widespread, and it's going to last until 10 a.m. So it does look like the advisory extended an extra hour. And then I want to show you this because it shows where the mist is, where you see that full saturation right there, 100% relative humidity. That's where you'll likely have to use your windshield wiper a few times. Along the coast, same kind of story. I had to do that. And you'll notice the roads may be a little bit wet. You know, the plants are getting some of that light mist as well. This is the view from San Miguel, where, you know, the past few mornings we saw at least some lights right around this area, the Sweetwater Reservoir. That's all now underneath the cloud coverage. So it's there, but obviously obviously covered. So it's another foggy start with the marine layer. Temperatures will be cooler today through Saturday. King tides, by the way, returning Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So those full details in your forecast. A check of traffic now this morning. You see all the yellow. Then that, of course, shows where the fog is impacting the commute. These are areas, all the stretch from Oceanside to the border where you're going to want to go slow. But obviously, as you see right there for downtown into Chula Vista, San Ysidro, probably not as big of a problem, but Otay Mesa, if you take that route, definitely is. Now, let's show you what's going on with this crash right here. This one is right at the 54 on Hamishaw Road at Chase Avenue, and it doesn't appear to slow you down too much, although there's a little bit of a backup just to the south of where that crash is. Taking you through North County, though, things are looking fine as far as your drive times. No major accidents to get in the way, but I will advise you it's better to go below the speed limit when you can hardly see in front of you. Stella.
Thank you.